Are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to let the Shedeur Sanders hype train set the organization back another 10 years? We have to really start asking ourselves this question. Shedeur visited the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now all of a sudden, you have his camp, meaning Shedeur's, saying Pittsburgh is the ideal landing spot for Shedeur. We really want him to play for Coach Tomlin. And why is that? Who has Tomlin? Which quarterback has Tomlin developed since Ben Roethlisberger left? I'll wait for a name, and I'll be waiting a very long time because there hasn't been one quarterback that Coach Tomlin has developed since Big Ben has been gone. So I feel that there's this perceived notion because Mike Tomlin away from the field is laid back. He doesn't walk around and think his you-know-what doesn't stink. You can have a normal conversation with him. He's not in coach mode all the time where these coaches act like they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders every time you talk to them. It's like you see a lot of police officers do that type of thing. You know, they're in full cop mode 24 hours a day. So Tomlin doesn't do this. So there's this perceived notion that when you play for the Steelers, that things are easy, that practice is easy, that you're not going to be coached hard, that Coach Tomlin is not going to coach you hard. But in reality, it's the total opposite. Practices are super hard, very physical. There's always rumors going around that the Pittsburgh Steelers wear out towards the end of the season because their legs are shot from having such physical practices before the season starts. So this whole notion that Coach Tomlin is so easy to play for, fine. He didn't develop a quarterback, and that's a fact. He's never developed a quarterback, ever. But this whole notion that it's just Shedeur's going to come there to the Steelers, and it's going to be so easy, like a walk in the park, and Coach Tomlin's going to be so understanding all the time, that's a lie. He's very demanding with the players. He's hard on the players. And that's why I think Coach leaves a lot of the players in when they're not performing or they're not doing their job. Because there's a process leading up to you getting your job. They go through the process, and I assume that Coach Tomlin respects that process, respects them for going through that, and leaves them in, the players, even when they should be pulled out or traded to another team. He leaves them in the game. And this is a detriment, but at the same time, as a player, it shows loyalty. So this whole new notion that Shedeur's camp wants to play for Mike Tomlin, why? Explain to me why. Tell me why. Other than I had a conversation with Coach Tomlin and he's really laid back. Tell me why. X's and O's, who he's developed, how he's helped quarterbacks in the league accelerate their careers. Tell me why. There is no reason. There's political reasons. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole different video. Why the Sanders family wants him to play for Coach Tomlin. But there's also this air or this rumor that when you come to the Steelers, things are easy. Because a lot of fans, including myself, you think to yourself, wow, this guy's Cam Sutton, perfect example last year. Did whatever he wanted to do on every play. Never came off the field. Beanie Bishop outplayed him every time he got on the field. Beanie Bishop never played once Cam Sutton came back. Same thing with Russell Wilson. Justin Fields outplayed him clearly. Even when Russell Wilson struggled, Tomlin left him in the game. So I believe that's why Dion and the Dion camp want Shedeur to play for Coach Tomlin. Because no matter what happens, he's going to play. And here's another thing. This will be the first year ever where Shedeur Sanders is not coached by his father. That him and his brother Shiloh will have to fight tooth and nail for their job and earn it, and won't be named the starters before the season even starts. So that's a whole other different issue. It's a big deal. You're going to have a new sense. Can he handle the urgency? Can he handle the pressure? Daddy's not there anymore. You're not going to get it handed to you at this level. So if Shedeur comes to the Steelers and he comes to camp, you can't just automatically assume he's going to beat out Mason Rudolph for the job. Doesn't mean that at all. You might draft Shedeur, meaning the Steelers, at pick 21, and he doesn't even step on the field because he can't beat out Mason Rudolph, which is a possibility. Don't tell me it's not a possibility, because it is. You have Louis Riddick. He comes out and says, Dion and his son, they want to go to a team. Shedeur's a collaborator. What the F has Shedeur done in the NFL that he deserves to collaborate with a coach? He's not Tom Brady. He didn't win Super Bowls yet. It's like you have this air about you, Shedeur. Like you haven't even played a down in the NFL. And you're putting it out there that I don't like it when I'm told this is the way that it's going to be, rather than, oh, I want to sit down with the coach and collaborate like you're on the coach's level or something. You don't want to be told, this came from Louis Riddick and Deion Sanders Deion Sanders are friends. They played together. They're very close, very tight. This came from Louis Riddick. That Shedeur, he wants to be with a coach that collaborates and not just coaches him hard and tells him this is the way that it's going to be. And this is why I have an argument against that. Shedeur has a lot of bad habits. Holding on to the ball too long. I didn't need to see the tapping to know that he held on to the ball too long. All you got to do is watch the BYU game, the Oregon game, the USC game, and you would see that for yourself. But nobody wants to look at the film. Nobody. If you watch the All-22 film, Shedeur against BYU in his bowl game, first of all, Shedeur's never been to a major college bowl game. He's never won the bowl game that he played in, ever. So, they play BYU. Shedeur doesn't like that people are questioning his leadership. Well, Shedeur, if you're watching this video, why would you rent out a strip club for 2 days prior to your bowl game? Your team showed up, they crapped a bed, you crapped a bed, you played absolutely horrible, you ran around backwards like Tim Tebow, you threw it up for a pick in the air, you threw it on the ground for a fumble, you were absolutely horrible. But nobody's allowed to question your leadership? Don't you think it would have impressed NFL teams more after you won your bowl game and you took your team out? Nobody would even be talking about this. You are to blame why people are questioning your leadership. You are to blame. Oh, all these anonymous sources that aren't real men, that are racist, that won't put their name on it. You rented out a strip club for 2 days straight before a bowl game, and your team crapped the bed, and somebody is racist for pointing this out? Really? Really? Never mind your play. Let's talk about Shedeur at Colorado. First of all, his father threw the ball 75% of the time or more. To me, that's padding stats. How do you throw the ball 80% of the time? But that's a different video. First year. First of all, Shedeur is 3-7 versus ranked teams. 2023 at Colorado, 11 starts, 4-7 record, 430 attempts, completed 298 passes, completion percentage 69.3% for 3,230 yards, 7.5 yards of completion, 27 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Now, here's a stat that'll drive you crazy. He was, in rushing yards, he was negative 77 yards. Negative 70. How do you rush for negative 77 yards? I'll tell you how. You don't step up into the pocket. You run backwards. What do you think's going to happen in the NFL when you run backwards and you don't step up into the pocket, or you try to scramble out of the pocket when you're not fast or athletic? What's going to happen? You're going to get hawked down, probably cough up the football, and lose yards. So then the other day, this thing with patting the ball at his pro day, it's a tell. Cam Hayward comes out and says, don't do that. I'm giving you some good advice. It's a tell. But Dion, Shedeur, all the Dion worshipers, oh, you're just coming up with another hateful reason to hate my son. You have Cam Hayward, who's obviously a black player, is telling your son, don't do that. It's a tell. It's not a good idea. Cam's played in the league 16 years. He's seen it all. You don't think he can give your son good advice? You think it's racial? Give me a break. But I didn't need to see him tapping the ball at his pro day to know that Shedeur holds onto the ball too long. He also, when he's in the pocket, he sways out of the pocket. He doesn't step straight up into the pocket, which is nothing but a disaster. In 2024, Shedeur, 9-4, 477 attempts, 353 completions, 74% completion percentage, passed for 4,134 yards, 8.7 yards per completion, 37 picks, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and again, negative 50 rushing yards. He's not seeing NFL defenses. What do you think's going to happen when he sees an NFL defense? You tell me what's going to happen. Look what BYU did to Shedeur. The film doesn't lie. If you want to be pick number 1 overall in an NFL draft, when you play your best competition, you better have your best games. Cam Scatteraboo, a running back. Look at him versus Texas. Rose to the occasion. Ran for 150 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaged 6 yards a carry. He ran wild against BYU. You're going to say, well, what does a running back position have to do with a quarterback? They're going against the same defense. Every time Shedeur goes against top-notch competition, he craps the bed. I don't want to hear it's the line's fault. It's everybody else's fault but Shedeur's. There's every excuse built into this when Shedeur doesn't play well that it's everybody else's fault. Then you have Mike Tannenbaum on ESPN today. Oh, you need to run to the podium to draft Shedeur. He's super tough. He was sacked. Oh, let me tell you the sack numbers. He was sacked 152 times in his college career, and somehow that's a good thing to Mike Tannenbaum. You wonder why the Jets sucked for 50 years and were the worst organization in the league, and why Mike Tannenbaum is no longer a GM and is sitting on woke ESPN? This is the reason why. For idiot statements and beliefs like that. So getting sacked 152 times in 4 years, which averages 3.5 to 4 sacks a game, is a good thing? No, it's called holding on to the ball too long. But hey, as long as it's like you can't be in reality with the Sanders family. How dare you? How dare you tell the truth about Shedeur and Shiloh? If Shedeur was better than Andrew Luck, I'd be making videos about it saying he's the best thing I've ever seen. He's not. The tape doesn't lie. Doesn't lie. At Colorado in 2023, Shedeur was sacked 52 times. 2024 at Colorado, sacked 35 times. At Jackson State in 2021, sacked 23 times. 23, excuse me. At Jackson State in 2022, 42 times. He averages getting sacked 3.5 to 4 times a game. You think that's a good thing? It's not. Do you think the league, I don't know what conference it is, Jackson State, you think they have NFL-type defenses? And look what happened when Shedeur played against Oregon or top-notch defenses. BYU, fine. They're not a SEC team, but they're coached very, very well. They're super physical. And that defense smoked Shedeur. Oregon absolutely destroyed Shedeur. If you are an elite player, like the Sanders family claims that Shedeur is, you elevate the team around you. Oh, the line's bad? We'll put him in the shotgun and let him make plays. Even when he went in the shotgun, he didn't make those plays. And there was a lot of internal conflict on those teams. The offensive linemen were getting pissed because they're saying to themselves, he's holding on to the ball too long, but Dion's on TV saying that we suck. And that's why a lot of the linemen transferred out of there. Hey, I'm looking at the film. I watched 4 of Shedeur's games on the All-22 film. He's an average to below average quarterback, and the only reason why we're talking about him this high in the NFL draft is because this quarterback class is the worst class in 30 years. Worst. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to take a quarterback, you know what quarterback I'm going to take in the first round? Jalen Milroe. Not because I think he's a great quarterback. If the Steelers say, we have to take a quarterback, we're taking a quarterback no matter what. We're taking a quarterback. I'm taking Jalen Milroe. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, ran a 4.3, 340, has a rocket arm. He holds onto the ball too long, doesn't make the best reads, but his ceiling is higher than Shedeur's because of his athletic ability. And then, not to mention, he played in the Southeastern Conference. To me, that's the best conference in all of college football. I know I'm going to take a lot of heat. Oh, Big 10, Big 12, whatever the hell you call it at this point. They change every year, because they won the national championship. I just think that the SEC, for the most part, gets more defensive players drafted to the NFL than any other conference. So I'm going to take Milroe with the pick. Better upside, stronger arm, better athleticism. You name it, he's better than. He's just better. He's a better quarterback. And I'm not high on Jalen Milroe. You have to choose between Jalen Milroe and Shedeur Sanders. I'm taking Milroe every single time. Not even thinking about it. The arm, the athleticism, the legs, he could scramble. Fine, he's a project, but if I'm forced to take a QB, doesn't mean I want to. And all the other stuff that comes along with Shedeur, it just gets exhausting after a while. Shedeur, when you get to the NFL and you get in the NFL locker room, you could have an undrafted free agent from Alaska that doesn't give a F who you are, who your dad is. Your endorsements, they're there to compete for a job. They don't care about that. We don't even know how Shedeur is going to react to competition because this is the first time in his life he's had to compete for his job. And I think that's a big part of this that's getting overlooked. I believe that the Sanders family hype train is going to end like this. This is how I think it's going to end. I want Shedeur to go pick one, number 1 in the draft overall. Give him everything. The chains, the cars, the houses, the money, the women, the commercials. Take it all. You know why? Because then when it's time to perform, I don't want to hear any excuses. Nothing. I don't want to hear an excuse. I want Shedeur to go pick one, round 1. Bye. See ya. Let's see how great you are. You claim you're an elite prospect. And how dare anybody question me or question how good I am or my commitment to football? How dare you? How could you ever say such a thing? I'm the best ever. I'm the best thing since Troy Aikman. Prove it. Prove it. Troy went to the Cowboys. They were absolutely atrocious when he got there. Horrible. Did you see his father on TV saying, well, I don't want my son to go to the Cowboys. I want him to go to a better team. We didn't hear any of that. He elevated the team. I haven't seen Shedeur elevate any team. Nobody. Oh, we went 8-4, 9-4 at Colorado was last year. Four losses for an elite prospect? For the next Andrew Luck, Tom Brady? Since the greatest quarterback ever? 4 losses is okay? Never played in a major college bowl game? Dan Marino was at Pitt. Pitt was sorry as hell. He brings them all the way to top ranked number 1, number 2 in the country. Elevated his team. Do I think Shedeur does that? Absolutely not. And nobody's going to make me believe that. When Shedeur gets the NFL, and I see film every week where he's that guy, I'll be making videos. I was wrong. He's that guy. I am going strictly off of the videos that I've seen from college. And I'm not talking highlight clips. I would bet my life that racist Ryan Clark, Mike Tannenbaum have never even watched the all-22 film of Shedeur Sanders. Ryan Clark, you need to sell the farm for Shedeur. Steelers need to sell the farm to get Shedeur. Why are you saying that, Ryan? Oh, we all know why you're saying it. It has nothing to do with football. It definitely doesn't have anything to do with the tape that you watched. I know that for sure. It's just ridiculous already. This guy hasn't played a down in the NFL, and he's going to these... I'm going to tell you what I think happens when Shedeur goes to these meetings and how these rumors started. And I'm going to blame his father. I'm going to blame Dion. Because you know how Dion walks around and he tells the media, I don't give a F what y'all think about me. You could say whatever you want. Do you think that affects my day? Yeah, Dion. And guess what? As a guy that's retired and a guy that's guaranteed money from coaching, you can get away with talking like that. I think you're an idiot and I think you're wrong because you wouldn't be making the money that you make without the media coverage, and neither would the athletes. So you should have a little bit more respect for them when they ask you critical questions, but that's a different video. So what I think happens is this, because Shedeur and Shiloh are obviously spoiled kids, and if I had a bet, this is what I bet would happen. Shedeur probably sits down with these NFL teams, and he repeats what his father says. Well, I don't really give a F what y'all think. I'm going to do what... You don't say that during a job interview. You haven't accomplished anything yet. You're not your dad. You're not a Hall of Famer. You haven't played it down. So that attitude starts these... It's not like it's a rumor. Those are probably things he's saying. And why does he say that? Because that's how his dad talks. Doesn't work when you're 20 and never played it down in the NFL. You can get away with that as a Hall of Famer, making $30 million a year to coach Colorado. So, if I would love to see these tapes of these interviews, and I would bet my life it sounds something similar to what I just said. And then what does the Sanders camp do? They blame everybody else. Oh, they're just finding something to hate my son about. All these racists, all these NFL racists. It's just laughable. You know how many... The NFL is made up of, it's 80% black players, 75%. The NFL owners hand out millions of dollars to these players every year, make them multimillionaires, love them, promote them, get them all types of deals on and off the field. But when it comes to Shedeur, and anybody has any criticism that isn't kissing Shedeur's ass 24/7, it's racism. It's hate. You're making it up. I watched the video. I've watched four of Shedeur's games in the all-22 film. Holding on to the ball too long, swaying out of the pocket. He can't run to save his life at all. He needs to step up in the pocket. He's a pocket passer. He's not a scrambler. Even Russell Wilson in his old age would scramble better than Shedeur. And I'm not just saying that. And it's obvious from his rushing stats. He can't run. So you better step up in the pocket and you better get that ball out of your hand as fast as possible. And I forgot what I was trying to say this a few minutes ago and I lost myself. So Louis Riddick is saying, oh, the Sanders regime wants Shedeur to play for Mike Tomlin because they want to collaborate and they don't want to be told. Shedeur doesn't want to be told, this is the way we're doing it, and that's it. The reason why Shedeur has bad habits is because he's been coached by his father. And his father has allowed these bad habits. The worst thing for Shedeur Sanders' NFL career is to go to an NFL team that doesn't coach him hard and continues to let him have bad habits. He needs to be coached hard and told, listen, this is the way it's got to be. 3 steps, you got to get the ball out of your hand. That's it. 3 steps, read. You got to get rid of the ball. And it's got to be drilled all the time. So you want to send Shedeur. Dion claims he has the best interest for his son. I'm not going to let my son go to a bad team and people better treat him nice and this and this and that. You really think that it's in your son's best interest to go to an NFL team that's going to allow him to keep continuing with his bad habits. That sounds like a mental disorder to me. The best thing for Shedeur is to go to a place where those coaches tell him it needs to be like this. This is the way it's got to be done. Because if it doesn't get done this way, you're not going to succeed. If you thought playing at Colorado was tough, wait till you see an NFL defense. So this whole premise, this whole notion, the way that the Sanders regime is coming across, like the things that they want, it doesn't even help Shedeur Sanders' career. You know, right away, oh, you want people to be mean to him. And that's not what I'm saying. He needs to be coached. He needs to be coached hard. He needs to get rid of those bad habits. He can't just freelance. Look at Caleb Williams freelancing in Chicago. See how well that's going. And he's 20 times more athletic than Shedeur. Am I lying? Let me know when I'm lying. Oh, I can't wait to see the comment section. Hater, you effing, you know what I'm trying to say, certain saltines. It'll be I'll be called every name in the book for saying this. But what I'm saying is the absolute truth. You don't like it? Too bad. This is not ESPN. This is the channel of reality. Watch the film. For Ryan Clark, did you watch all 20? I would bet my life Ryan Clark never watched all 22 film once, ever. Oh, sell the farm for Shedeur. If I had a pick between Shedeur, let's say Jalen Milroe's gone, and there's only SEC quarterbacks left, Jackson Dart or whoever, I am taking every quarterback in the SEC over Shedeur. Why? That's a stupid remark, because the SEC has more NFL defenders in it than any other college division. So those quarterbacks have seen athletes that are going to excel in the NFL. Just playing Georgia alone will let you see a whole bunch of NFL talent. Alabama, the same thing. Jackson Dart, he beat Georgia, loaded with NFL talent. You think Shedeur is going to... If Shedeur played in the SEC, oh, God. Oh, boy. First year at Colorado, he was 4-7. He probably would have been 2-9. Second year at Colorado, he was 9-4. If he played in the SEC, he'd probably be 3-10. If he was lucky. So, if Jalen Milroe is still on the board and Shedeur Sanders is there, and you have to take a quarterback, go with Jalen Milroe. More upside, better athlete, rocket arm, less baggage, less attitude of, I want it this way and do it this way and I deserve this. He doesn't do that at all. So I would take Jalen Milroe in a heartbeat. Let's talk about TJ Watt's contract. TJ Watt, to me, is the best defensive player in the NFL. He deserves every penny that he gets. I would never criticize him for wanting money. That's his business. It's none of my business. Remember one thing. The New England Patriots, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, all took less money, team-friendly deals to win championships. It's a fact. It's not a rumor. It's a fact. And just remember that. End it with this. Steelers legend Terry Bradshaw saved the day for passengers stuck on a flight. Supposedly the door was stuck. Terry came over with the bionic man arm and ripped the door open and saved the day. Good old Terry doing his thing. Still has his strength. Good for him. NFL legend Terry Bradshaw saved the day for a group of travelers trapped on a plane at Pittsburgh International Airport. The door on Bradshaw's plane was stuck for close to a half an hour before Bradshaw helped to force it open, according to a passenger we spoke with at KDKA. Good for Terry. Steelers Nation, things are a mess right now. Things would be so much easier going into this draft if Aaron Rodgers would just come out of hiding and give us an answer, whether he's coming or going. I don't care. Just give us an answer.